We will look after the compliance, we will look after clinical standards, we'll look after marketing, we'll look after websites, we look after, all of those things that independent practitioners would have to do themselves. We have departments to look after, and it frees you up to look after your patients, which is what we train for and what we qualified for. As a dentist, it's liberating because I don't have the pressures of the marketing or the staff issues or counting money and that sort of thing. But from the other side, if I want to be involved with that from my other job, which is an operational point of view, that's exactly what I do. And for those people who are that way inclined, and I was, then there are opportunities within the business to contribute in that way.
Well, in the 8 years or 7 or 8 years that I've worked for Oasis, there has never been a moment that I regretted selling my practice.
I am left to be the dentist that I was trained to be without the complications that are coming into dentistry more and more.
There was a sort of a plan for 3 years of retirement, but actually it's given me a new sort of direction and enthusiasm.
It has certainly been the right thing for me to have done. I'm happy with where I am in my life, and I would have to say that as a dentist within Oasis, I feel it's really allowing me to do dentistry.
We are very focused on making sure our practices do well. I think it's because we understand NHS dentistry, but particularly we understand how to grow private dentistry.
There were 3 of us as partners. When we sold to Oasis, 2 of those partners had already started planning what they were going to do. When the 2 years was up, I have to say all 3 of us are still in the practice today, and it speaks for itself really.
On a day-to-day basis, I look after my patients. I don't really notice Oasis, obviously the name's over the door, but I look after my patients, and and that's what happens on a day-to-day basis. Same as any dentist and patient relationship.
First few months, it did take some time to adapt. It was very hard to let go, and when people were coming into my practice and telling me what I was to do, I didn't react well to it at times. But as I adjusted, I suddenly realised that they actually were giving sound advice. One of my concerns when I first joined Oasis was that I was tied in for 3 years, and I was worried about whether I'd be able to stand that. I've now been here 8 years.
What it's done for me as sort of a principal is I sort of feel slightly less sort of isolated, like it was all on me. I feel like I'm now part of a bigger club. I've always got a mate I can turn to, people to sort of help you out. It's just that sort of feeling of community I think I have with Oasis.
We get lots of thanks from the dentists. They're very pleased when they've had the opportunity to compare the performance of a defence organisation with the way in which Oasis can handle their complaints for them and support them and be available and do things quickly and efficiently. Then they're moving to Oasis Indemnity, and they're very happy with the way in which it operates.
A steady bank account that didn't go up and down dramatically through the month. The benefits were that someone else was dealing with things such as HTMO 105 and legislation. And essentially, though I cared, it was someone else's problem. When one of the nurses came and told me she was pregnant, I could be pleased for her, rather than concerned for the business. And it was a lot nicer to be able to work that way and work as part of a team.
What Oasis have managed to do is take away some of the things that I didn't particularly enjoy doing, all the governance, a lot of X-ray legislation, so I can sort of concentrate on what I felt I was best at doing. Don't be fearful. Life goes on. After you've sort of told your practice, things will be different. But the pressure on you as sort of a principal, I think, is a lot less. You can enjoy your life more, and I don't think the staff need to sort of think, oh, it's going to be such a change and things are going to be, terrible working for one of these horrible corporates. But actually, it really isn't.
It's a very friendly, safe environment. It allows us to focus on fundamentally what we enjoy doing most, which is dentistry and interacting with our patients, in the knowledge that we've actually got the more boring, mundane, clinical compliance and governance jobs. Actually now, we still need to think about them, but we know that it's somebody else who's going to be carrying out that day-to-day work.
We have a number of internal lectures, we have a number of internal training programs, so it might be implants, it might be social orthodontics, it could be posterior composites, it could be whitening, any range of things that go on. Furthermore, we also sponsor dentist education, so we have a number of dentists where they're on MSc programs, they're on implant programs, and we actually pay for it up front. They pay us back interest-free, and it takes away the financial stress of having to find that lump sum as well.
I sleep like a baby now.